Cuando el tiempo que nos roba los años nos robe también los placeres, el recuerdo del pasado se quedará y la mitad de nuestras alegrías se renovará. When time, who steals our years away, shall steal our pleasures too, the memory of the past will stay and half our joys renew. Then talk no more of future gloom, our joy shall always last, for hope shall brighten days to come and memory gild the past. Entonces no hables más de la tristeza futura, nuestras alegrías siempre durarán, porque la esperanza iluminará los días venideros y la memoria adoró el pasado.
Hello and welcome. We're here at Reuters.com for an article, Grindr facing UK data lawsuit for allegedly sharing users' HIV status. This has been spoken about online for a number of years, but finally lawsuits are starting to happen. To add some context, here in Western Australia, one of the reasons why Grindr became so popular was because the WA AIDS Council championed these online sex apps as a way of diverting the attention of the community. They wanted to stop providing peer-to-peer support services, and they wanted to decentralise the gay community so that there would be no cohesive community able to criticise the tired and toxic policies of the AIDS Council and the other leadership groups. They jumped on board the online app wagon without any consideration for the long-term consequences, and there was no due diligence done. They saw these free sites and it suited their aims, and they didn't give a fuck about the consequences. I believe in the future the WA government will actually apologise to HIV positive people for the ill treatment and cruelty that they have experienced at the hands of the AIDS Council, and it will be recognised that farming off HIV support services to a non-government organisation that is unaccountable and ticker-box evaluated and full of toxic, cruel workplace cultures was not the good thing that the PR-related NGO has said it was. For example, the WA AIDS Council's duty of care is something that is often ignored. They refer people to the National Association of People with AIDS organisation Power, and that organisation is known and is notorious for being toxic and unsafe. It was the same as previous incarnations happened, and these organisations were known as being toxic bullying places. The AIDS Council has a duty of care to provide referrals to safe organisations, and it is quite clear that Power and other organisations are not safe, and in the same way that their duty of care failed when it came to their policy of jumping on the electronic tech bandwagon and encouraging this use of apps like Grindr, Scruff and all the rest of them. Even the Party for AIDS culture that they are resurrecting is a sign of a failed policy, because it is enabling the drug culture which has done so much harm to the community. It enables domestic violence, and it is quite clear that the AIDS Council's education and prevention programs are severely lacking. So Grindr facing UK data lawsuit for allegedly sharing users' HIV status. This was published on April the 23rd, 2024. Gay dating app Grindr is facing a mass data protection lawsuit in London from hundreds of users who allegedly had their private information, including HIV status, shared with third parties without consent, a law firm said on Monday. Austin Hayes, which said the lawsuit is being filed at London's High Court, said thousands of Grindr users in the United Kingdom may have been affected. The firm alleges users' highly sensitive information, including HIV status and the date of their latest HIV test, were provided to third parties for commercial purposes. A spokesperson for Grindr initially said in a statement that it planned to respond vigorously to this claim, which appears to be based on a mischaracterization of practices from more than 4 years ago. The spokesperson later said in an updated statement, Grindr has never shared user-reported health information for commercial purposes and has never monetized such information. Austin Hayes said about 670 people had signed up to the lawsuit over breaches said to have taken place between 2018 and 2020, with potentially thousands more joining the case. Grindr owes it to the LGBTQ+ community it serves to compensate those whose data has been compromised and have suffered distress as a result, the firm's managing director Shaya Hanumanji said in a statement. The company must ensure all its users are safe while using the app wherever they are without fear that their data might be shared with third parties, Hanumanji said. Grindr's spokesperson said, "We are committed to protecting our users' data and complying with all applicable data privacy regulations, including in the UK." That's, of course, all well and good, but what this says here is they're committed to complying with the data privacy regulations, and it may be that the data regulations are weak and watery, which is one of the reasons why these organisations are allowed to take data and on-sell it. Governments are notorious for being much more concerned with censorship of free speech and of preventing ideas from being disseminated rather than being concerned with the safety and security of their citizens. Isn't it interesting how big tech organisations are quick to censor memes and political speech they don't like, but right under their noses on the platforms, human traffickers, sex traffickers and child abusers are able to conduct their business. What Australia lacks is an Australian-based social media platform. All of these major platforms are based in the United States or other places, and so there are few protections available to Australian citizens. And also we've outsourced culture to international globalists. What we should have been doing in Australia is maintaining face-to-face, peer-to-peer support services and social communities where people can meet in safety, and the promotion of promiscuity that the AIDS industry has been engaged in has made communities unsafe. And just recently here in Western Australia, the West Australian newspaper provided coverage of homophobic attacks for teenage boys charged over South Lake dating app attacks. A group of teenagers who allegedly lured gay men to a southern suburbs park via a dating app as part of a premeditated plot to rob and bash them were armed with machetes, knives and pepper spray, a court has been told. This underlines the inherent dangers of these sex apps, and it's quite clear that these apps are much more dangerous as we head into more perilous financial times. The inherent ideological bankruptcy of big tech can be seen in the fact that on TikTok, Hitler's speeches translated to English via AI are amassing millions of views on TikTok, And yet Russian media channels RT and Sputnik are banned from TikTok. That's from Aussie Cossack on X.com. Well, I hope you found that interesting. As we said, in the future, the West Australian government is probably going to have to apologise for the harm caused from their peak AIDS organisations, because they are supporting policies which directly lead to harm, such as the Party for AIDS, which enable drug usage and drug addiction, and their support for dangerous online sex apps. It's no good calling them dating apps, because they're not about dating, they're about sex and picking up for one-night stands, and so they are inherently dangerous. Please like, share, subscribe and comment. Our social media links are in the credits and generally on the screen. Follow at JamesRendell17 on X.com, and if you want uncensored content, see our group on Telegram. The link will be on the screen. We appreciate everyone who watches our videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Cuando el tiempo que nos roba los años nos robe también los placeres, el recuerdo del pasado se quedará y la mitad de nuestras alegrías se renovará. When time, who steals our years away, shall steal our pleasures too, the memory of the past will stay, and half our joys renew. Then talk no more of future gloom, but our joy shall always last, for hope shall brighten days to come, and memory gild the past. Entonces no hables más de la tristeza futura, nuestras alegrías siempre durarán, porque la esperanza iluminará los días venideros, y la memoria adoró el pasado.